This video was brought to you by Nebula. In June 2024, hundreds of millions of Europeans will go to the polls to elect a new European Parliament, in what are the largest transnational elections in the world. The results will tell us a lot about the state of the European political landscape, as well as influence the direction of Europe over the following 5 years. While the elections are still some time away, new polling and seat projections suggest that the EU's right-wing, far-right and nationalist parties could be on course to gain ground. So in this video, we'll explain the European Parliament's political groupings, take a look at the current forecasts and explore what it all means. European parliamentary elections are contested by hundreds of national political parties. So when you look at a ballot paper, you'll see the candidates listed alongside their national party. But most national parties are affiliated with a European-wide political party, with whom they sit in the European Parliament. For example, Germany's SPD, Malta's Labour Party and Spain's Socialist Workers' Party all sit within the same group in the European Parliament, called the Progressive Alliance of Socialists and Democrats, or just S&D. So let's quickly look at these different parliamentary groupings before digging into the new polling. Currently, the largest group, with 177 MEPs, is the centre-right European People's Party, or EPP, who are one of the oldest European-level groups and have been the largest in the European Parliament since 1999. The second largest group is the centre-left Socialists and Democrats, who have 143 MEPs. The third largest is the centrist Liberal Renew Europe group, with 101 MEPs. The Greens and European Free Alliance, known as the Green EFA, come next with 72 MEPs. They, unsurprisingly, are generally progressive environmentalists and regionalist parties. Then you've got the European Conservatives and Reformists, or ECR, with 66 seats, who are more right-wing than the EPP and are broadly Eurosceptic. Further right than the ECR and next on the list are Identity and Democracy, or ID, holding 62 seats. Finally, with 37 seats, making them the smallest official group, is the Left, who unsurprisingly come from the left to far left end of the political spectrum. There's also around 47 MEPs known as the non-inscrits, who don't belong to any of the recognised groups. With that out the way, let's have a look at the latest seat projections from Politico's Research and Analysis division. According to the projection, the biggest winners will be the right and the far right, as the ECR are projected to gain 23 MEPs and ID projected to gain 15, bringing them to 89 and 77 respectively. The ECR's big gains would make them the third largest grouping, joint alongside Renew Europe, who are projected to lose 12 seats. The rise of the right and far right here reflects recent successes for them across the continent, with much of their projected rise in seats coming from Italy's ruling Brothers of Italy, who are part of the ECR, and Germany's AfD, who are part of the Identity and Democracy group. By the way, we've got 2 separate videos on why the Brothers of Italy and AfD are polling well in their own countries, which you should watch if you're interested. Anyway, at the same time as the right and far right growing, Europe's traditional conservative group, the EPP, is actually projected to lose 12 seats. However, their projected 165 still leaves them as the largest group. Meanwhile, the Socialists and Democrats are projected to stay broadly stable and gain just 2 seats, leaving them comfortably in second. S&D's resilience here can, in part, be explained by the recent electoral recovery of the Spanish Socialists, as well as a centre-left alliance in the Netherlands between the Green Left and Labour Party. The projection also suggests the left bloc will perform well, gaining 8 seats and putting them on 45. The biggest losers, according to the Politico projection, would be the Green EFA, who are projected to lose 24 seats, leaving them on 48, which would sink them from the 4th largest group to the 6th largest. So if next year's election results do end up looking like this, then Europe's right-wing and far-right would wield a great deal more influence in the European Parliament than they have done since the 2019 election. But it's important not just to look at the performance of the groups as individuals. In fact, perhaps the most important takeaway from this projection is that it shows the so-called Grand Coalition of the EPP, S&D and Renew maintaining their combined majority in the European Parliament. It's these three groups, spanning the centre-left to centre-right, that declared their backing for the EPP's Ursula von der Leyen to become European Commission President following the 2019 Parliament election. And as such, they make up almost all of her commission. With the growth of parties to the right of the EPP, some had speculated that a more right-leaning alliance of the EPP, ECR and Renew could be on the cards, though this projection suggests that the centre-ground Grand Coalition will hold, despite losing seats. So why does all this matter? Or rather, what does the European Parliament actually do? It can be effectively seen as the EU's attempt to give certain decisions or policies a democratic seal of approval, most notably for the appointment of the European Commission and passing legislation. Let's start with the European Commission, which, for reference, is the main body of the EU's executive branch. The EU Parliament plays an important role in the appointing of a new Commission every 5 years, as while candidates for Commission President are nominated by the European Council, which itself is made up of Member States' leaders, the Council must take into consideration the parliamentary election results and the nominee must be approved by the Parliament. The same goes for the Commissioners who make up the body of the Commission. If Parliament votes down the Council's nominee, then they don't take office. As for passing legislation, the Parliament is on par with the Council of the European Union in that both bodies, through a convoluted back-and-forth process, must approve legislative proposals for them to pass. A similar process applies for the EU's budgets. That obviously gives the Parliament, as an institution, politically significant sway on the legislative agenda. While there would be truly immense political pressure not to, the Parliament could well reject each and every proposal put to it by the European Commission, bringing the European Union to effective standstill. In practice, such an outright obstructive block won't happen, but fully aware of how many votes are needed to get a proposal passed, a stronger right wing in Parliament will have more clout to push things to the right. So it's obviously too early to tell how things will play out, but at this point it seems that the momentum of the right and the far right at the national level in countries like Germany and Italy may well translate to the European level too. If you enjoy diving deep into topics like this, if you're the kind of person who wants the even smarter and more analytical side of these stories, then you'll really enjoy our new series, The Daily Discussion, where we cover a number of other important topics from the endless coups in the Sahel region, the Twitter rebrand, or the specifics of the war in Ukraine. The TLDR writing team hosts these daily discussions most days, diving deeper into a news story we write about, and unpacking the hidden details that they found fascinating, but that were either too long or too academic to make it into the final script. If you want to check this series out, you can find the episodes exclusively on Nebula. The best news is that Nebula is less than £2 a month and provides you with ad-free and exclusive videos from TLDR and a ton of incredible content from other creators like Johnny Harris, Real Life Law and Legal Eagle. Check it out by clicking the link in the description and make sure you use our link so they know that you came from us.